Hello, viewers. So, today we have an unboxing, and it is, I can tell you right now, it is not a Brother laser multifunction printer, nor is it a MFC-L9570 from CDW. None of that. So I ordered something, and those of you who follow the channel know predominantly that we talk about fans and have discussions on those, collect those. So that's your hint. So let's quickly take a look. And I just did a bunch of videos on I would say another fan that is slightly newer than this. That's your hint of how it relates. And we will take a look at this. Not that I'm trying to do a big reveal or a big surprise or anything like that, but maybe a little anticipation with what I showed in the last couple videos back of what this could be. All right. So this, I should tell you where it came from. I actually ordered something off of eBay. I don't make a habit of it because it is extremely expensive. And I feel like it's almost like a cheat for collecting fans. Although it's a good cheat if there's something there that you've been really looking for and you just can't find through Marketplace or through Craigslist. And you're gonna pay for it. All right, so whoever packaged this up so far seemed like they did a good job. Oh yes, here it is. What I liked is they just didn't, it didn't come with the original box. But I hate when you order something on eBay, an old vintage fan, and that has the original box, and they ship it in the original box. They don't put that box inside of something else. Ugh, they just don't understand. We're also paying for the original box. I digress. So, here it is. I'll fix the camera in a minute. A Robeson vintage fan. Packaged very nicely. So I will remove all the packaging and readjust the camera here so we can take a closer look. All right, so here it is in all of its eBay glory. I have never owned one of these. I should say this generation. I have owned one 2 generations newer, which would have put it early 90s. This is definitely 80s. And then you can check out my video on this one, which I've had for a few years. This is late 80s, I would say mid 80s. And then as a youngster, I had one from the early 90s. My fascination, which I talked about in the previous video for the one I just held up, is I used to think that these were all Lakewood Rebadges. And I have come to learn through YouTube and some fellow collectors that is not the case. It's more about rip-off, and it's a rip-off. But it is just so hard when you see this to think that this has nothing to do with Lakewood. You really don't. Like, it's amazing. The grill's different. I mean, they try to make it different with this kind of like raised edge, I think. And then I don't think Lakewood has as many. I think it's just 1, 2, 3. I think they might have 6. I could be wrong, but it just seems like there's way more. Definitely doesn't have 3 and 3. I could tell this grill is kind of pushed in a little bit. I hope that didn't happen in shipping, but it just kind of has that pushed in look. Now, if this was a modern 3733, it would be touching the hub, and you'd be having a headache dealing with that. So this thing is really in pristine, other than I picked up, it might have been on the other side, there's some slats here that are kind of pushed in. I think it's on the other side, or actually broken. But other than that, I mean, this thing is, I don't even know if it was used. It has that new feel on it. I think that the rear grille is pretty interesting. And then the motor, see, that's what confuses me. It looks like a Lakewood motor. And maybe someone can help shed some light on this. Did they actually purchase components from Lakewood? Because I'm fairly certain, again, it's not a Rebadge. It's not like a Lakewood JCPenney or Kmart or something like that. It's just a full different brand. I would love to know. I would love to know. Again, I'm pretty sure it's a ripoff, but did they actually purchase anything from Lakewood? Like, maybe did they actually purchase the cabinets, the handles, the switches, and the motors? Blades slightly different. Like, for example, in the last one I just showed, it looks like a Lakewood, but yet it looks like it has Toastmaster blades on it. It's fascinating, you know, as a collector. This is why I collect these things, to figure this stuff out. It's a fun hobby. It's fun to learn about these things. And I'm sure when they were manufacturing them, it's the last thing they thought of, that people like us would be years later restoring them and keeping them you know, nice. So being that this is rare, unlike the other one I just showed, which is still fairly rare, you seem to run into more of the other model I just showed you than this one. I likely will not use this. It will, as I talk in other videos, certain pieces kind of sit in what I call like my museum. Yeah, we'll crank them up every once in a while, maybe for a video, do some type of video with it, have a little fun with them. But then they go away. Like, we don't use them. If it had more imperfections, like if it had hours on it and everything, I would service it and just, you know, use it, but carefully use it, not use it in a window that has sun or anything like that. This has no sun damage. So the moment we've been waiting for, we will check it out. So let's try the low speed. This is the first time. It has a cool look to it. I mean, I never really knew how I felt about this style badge, but it's what makes it unique. Pretty good low. Definitely really good balance. For those of you who've been following the channel and watching my Lasco videos, ooh, that's a solid medium. It's like a high. Whoa. Wait for high. This is very powerful. And it's not moving, just barely. That's actually really awesome. Really, really, really awesome. Very pleased with that. I think the low, if I'm comparing it to a Lakewood P223, the low is faster on this. I always feel like those big Lakewoods have like a very slow, quiet low. It's kind of what makes them unique. This kind of had more go to it. Very interesting that you didn't see more of these, because they seem like they are solid. And again, I know I keep saying this because I'm very sensitive to it. For those of you, again, who follow the channel, watched my Black 3733 videos with the blades out of balance. I just took one, check the recent video out. I just took one brand new out of the box with the feet on it, put it on this very table, put it on high, and the thing couldn't sit still. This has got to be close to 40 years old, somewhere in there, between 35 and 40. I take it out of an eBay box, and who knows the history of this thing. It has no feet, and we put it on the same table, and we can run it on all 3 speeds, by which are very, at least to the sense of feeling the wind. I don't have a kilowatt meter connected to it, but from a sense of just feeling the air movement, it's way more powerful, but it sits still in the same spot. I just don't know why Lasco can't get that right, other than they've gone so cheap on the manufacturing that the cabinet and everything's so light that anytime it moves any air, it just pushes the whole thing around. And it's not because it's overly powerful. Rant over. I digress. So what I want to mention is kind of what got me down this path again with these fans is, well, I had that Robeson for the past, I think 3 or 4 years, the one I just showed in the slightly newer one. And I was watching some videos on YouTube, and a very notable collector on YouTube, he has this one and did a video on this one, and it made me think like, oh, I remember these. They weren't as common as P223s, but they're out there. Be cool to get one. He also did a video on one, I believe it was a 20-inch, but it had 3 blades, 3 plastic blades, same color as this. It's got to be super rare and it's super cool. So it kind of got me on the kick again, right, with these. And there is a model that I don't have as well that comes from the early 90s, which is, you know, even newer than the one I held up. And I think that would have been the last generation. I think these really went away definitely by the mid 90s. So what I would like to know is what you guys think about these. I mean, even the handle feels like just has that, like when plastic's new, it has that like gloss to it. Really cool. So you can see the built-in feet, and I think it does have a little wobble because I can see where the grill got pressed. Yeah, on that side it's pressed in, here it's fine. So I think that's more of a byproduct of how this thing was shipped or just stored or kept over the years. But this is kind of neat. Really tries to protect the motor. We'll just do a startup on the side. Yeah, so really cool in my mind. What I would like to do, and I will at some point, is pull out my, whatever color you call this, cream colored P223, and do a comparison with the two together. And I can even connect a meter to them just to see. So certainly I would love to hear from you in the comments about this. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Can you live without them? Did you have one? And I think the most interesting thing to me, if anyone can share, do you know if it's a ripoff, a knockoff, some type of rebadge, somewhere in between? I want to know. I want to learn. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, comment. I like when we get the discussions going. I've had a great time commenting back and forth with several of you, or a bunch of you actually. So feel free. And I hope to see you on the next one, and have a great day.